entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have the code for the machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you understood you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Charles and Darl, the movement dedicated to empowering men, uniting brothers, and building a strong coalition. This is more than just a conversation. It's a call to action. Join us as we uplift, support, and inspire men worldwide. Because together, we don't just talk, we lead, we grow, and we conquer. Are you ready to be part of the coalition? Let's dive in.
Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Charles and Daryl. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, bro? How you feeling?
We're doing good, man. Welcome everybody to the show, man. Glad y'all tuning in. Hey, my voice a little under the weather, but hey, we're gonna make it through.
That's right. That's right.
Make it through, man. So tonight, man, we're gonna, you and I had this discussion off air, about what men want, what women want in relationships. So, we're gonna dive into that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna dive into that. We're gonna start with the men first, and then we're gonna follow with the women.
Let's do it.
So the first one for men, what men really want in relationships is respect. They want respect. Men want to feel respected or for their thinking and competency. Some say that respect is the number one thing men want in a relationship. For example, if he fixing something, let him fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't be down there disrespecting. You can't do nothing. You can't fix this.
Right.
I'm just saying, just let the man do what he do. He wants to, be talked to a certain way. He wants to be honored a certain way. You know what I mean?
I say, for me though, I say that the number one thing, man. That's respect, the respect too. But I say that peace. They want a peace of mind in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I do believe that. You know what I'm saying? I believe that's maybe one of the top ones too. I would say, because you think about it, if you have peace, right? And you ain't got no respect.
Yeah, that's. I guess they go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying?
You see what I'm saying? You'll say, like, for example, if you got peace and then they don't respect your opinion. Yeah, you got the peace on one hand, but the respect on the other hand is, hey, you know what I mean?
Too, man, they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, with guys, they want that peace or respect or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, man, and women, they, like it depends on how they came in on the scene. If they can't, if they came in on the scene like that from the jump street from day one, and they find out that they got that power, like they're gonna keep that power on that man. You know what I'm saying? So man may not never be respected within a relationship. Right. So the man, I know he want that respect, what we talking about in a relationship, but when he first come on, he got to lay the ground rules down.
Exactly. Exactly.
Day one.
So women, that's one of the things he won't respect. My man done dropped peace in there, so that's another thing. I think peace may be in there somewhere. Another thing they want is appreciation. They want appreciation. They want to know that their partner appreciates them. For many men, this may mean that they need a lot of stroking. Not that kind of stroking.
Okay.
I guess it's stroking the ego. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we following you. We following you.
I got to read it like I got it. It's a lot of stroking. Married people, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying he may need his ego stroked. You know,
because you know, if they you know, most females, they know women or whatever, their husband or boyfriend, whatever they live in or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They pretty much know. They should know. If they don't, they should know what they need to do for that man, because they know whether their man is sensitive, or they know whether he's strong or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So like you saying with that, you know, with the stroking or whatever, they should know what buttons they need to push, you know, to make him, you know, feel like the way he should feel. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, like I said, a lot of females, they do have some sensitive men.
Yeah,
you know,
for
just
sure.
Got to call it like it is, you know, because that's how they were raised, you know. So
for
they
sure.
got some sensitive men, so you got to come at them. They got to come at them a different way versus how some wives got to go with their husband, you know, a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And you know, the appreciation piece, you know, I feel is an important piece, because you know, if he go out and work all week, you know, he go work hard. He may work in a coal mine. He may work out on a rooftop. He just, and to come in the house and feel underappreciated when you hit the house, they just don't even acknowledge your existence.
Right.
Is a little bit, you know, is a little bit kind of degrading. So you kind of like, when you come in the house after working hard all day, you want the appreciation from everybody, the kids, the wife, the dog, everybody. You want everybody to just, you know, show you, hey, you know, we appreciate you, you know, and it goes deeper, like, you know, even with, you know, for their birthdays and, you know, different special times in their lives, you know, they want that that appreciation shown. And I think it makes a big difference, you know, in the relationship.
Right. Just like, you know, like I said, a lot of times some people, you know, they say, you know, Father's Day is just Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? We just get them a tie and some socks. But, you know, when they have Mother's Day, they shut it down. You know, they shut everything down. You know, it's a national holiday. You know,
that's right.
And a lot of times, you know, like it says, dads and husbands or whatever, you know, we do want some appreciation sometimes, like the way they do the mothers. You know,
exactly. Yeah. You know, we want them to actually start maybe just a little bit sooner with the fathers, that like they do the mothers, you know what I mean? And you know, it to me, I just think that the appreciation piece is a big piece that the men really want, that, you know, from their wife or fiance or whatever. Because if you're not getting the respect and appreciation now, when you get married, you may not get it. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're gonna look at you like you know, like they was looking at you the whole time, you know, like whatever. You
know, and you know, pleasing their partner. Men want to be men are driven to please their partners. You know what I'm saying? They want to be pleased by their spouse. Whatever way that may be. Everybody got their way they want to be pleased. He may like back rubs or feet rub, whatever. It may be something that he, you know, that he really likes. And, you know, she, you know, I ain't gonna say it's her job, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's something that he wants. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can, you know, like if he coming home, like you said, you know, especially like, you know, on any job, like you saying, like in a coal mine or something like that.
Yeah.
You come in from work, you know, you can give him a pat on the back or a hug or something, like, you know, how was your day? You know, I miss you. And all, you know, all the good stuff that they tell you, supposed to tell you, whatever, you know, sometimes that'll go a long way. You know, just just let just hearing that when you get in from work, you know what I'm saying? So especially you've been slaving all day out there, in the world like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one, I was talking about the pleasing your partner. They want their partner. Men want to, want their partners to please them, whatever way that is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got that.
Right.
And then men also want to feel stability they want to feel like they're in a solid relationship with someone who they can count on. They don't want to be in a relationship where every other day they talking about leaving. Every other week it's something going on. Every other month, where I'm going to mama and them house, and every other they want to know that, when the rubber meet the road,
right,
they got a solid partner that's with them.
That's what I was gonna say. They want somebody to know they got their back.
100%. Yeah. And if they don't feel that, it's kind of like you feel uncertainty, like, like for example, just imagine, which it'll never happen, but just imagine, every day you came home or your wife got a different personality when she come home,
right?
When you come home or when she comes home,
right?
You don't know,
man. That'll that right there, man, will cause, after a while, you'll start getting home late.
Yeah.
Like you be like, you know what, man, I ain't even going home right now. You know what I'm saying? Or when you get home, for some of the people that may not know, they probably don't care. But when your significant other, especially the husband, dude get home from work and he's sitting in the car about 15 minutes before he come in the house, he got to get his head right before he go in, because he already know what he about to face. Right. If you got them multiple personalities, or you always on his neck as a wife, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And then, like you said, man, with that stability part, man, he wants to know that if he's going to make a decision in a solid, God-driven decision, he want to know he got his rollie with him, that she going to roll with him. Hey, I know you heard from God or whatever on this. I know you did. So let's roll. He don't want nobody when they get to the dealership or getting ready to buy a house. They're in the front fussing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because he done made the decision now. She wishy-washy. She all over the place. She don't know, he don't know what to think. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Or either a simple, I got it from the wife. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, I know they, might go crazy over this 50-50 thing or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, if the husband, if he getting this over here and this over here all the time, then, he got his rolling, like I say, his wife, and she good, she gonna pick up some slack over here. Don't worry about it. I got this. Don't even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like whether it's picking up, I just say they, most time people, wife will get the grocery anyway. But you know what I'm saying? They'll help you out, like, instead of you got to just keep on spending all the time. Like, cause some wives like, hey, your money is mine and my money is mine.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
All of it.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So if you got somebody that's riding with you, ride or die with you 50-50, you know what I'm saying? They feel a whole lot better in their relationship. As a man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
For sure. And the next one, I know this for some people probably a little controversial, but men need time for themselves to pursue hobbies.
Yeah.
While, they make time, they got to have time for themselves. Meaning that he want the time for himself. He don't need you give him 2 minutes to go, to sit in the bathroom by himself. Right. And
what you doing?
Yeah, there you go. And he just like, I just want to pursue some hobbies with my friends. They want to go out, shooting,
fishing or something,
fishing, hunt, whatever it is, right? And the whole time you trying to fish or shoot guns or whatever you're doing. Hey, what you doing? How much long y'all gonna be? You know what I'm saying? I need to know because, why? Because I just, I got something that I want to talk to you about. We can't talk about that like another time though. We just can't. We can't do that. But hey, bro, we up against the break, so we're gonna pick up right after the break. All right.
Okay. All right, bet.
Signed up to fight for freedom. What a price you had to pay. Picture in a helmet, missing family every day. Your Lady Liberty, dressed like G.I. Jane. Some scars we'll never see. She will never be the same. She's a mother, she's a daughter. She's a sister and a friend. Standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her. On that old dusty base with the meadows that shine, she's been to hell and back for the stars and the stripes. Your Lady Liberty, dressed like G.I. Jane, and some scars we'll never see, and she will never be the same. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend, standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her. Yeah, yes. For the ones that didn't make it, we will pause and then we cry. We can still see their smile in every sunrise. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend, standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The Man Talk 133.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
With Charles and Daryl, man. So before we went to the break, we were talking about time for themselves. Men want time for themselves. And I mean, hey, that's what they want. I feel like that's one of the things they not necessarily want, but I think they need that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I really do think they need that.
Yeah, and I think you were saying too, like before we went to break, like you said, you know, they want to, you know, like, you know, hit you up or whatever. Not us per se, but just in general for the public.
Yeah, I mean, not us.
Yeah,
not us, but I'm just saying, you know, this is some of the stuff that men
that we get
that men go through. Some men go through. You know what I mean? So it's what it is. But
like you were saying, you know, you can't wait until after I get back, or why not? You know, you want why we couldn't have this discussion yesterday before you want to have a discussion before I decide, you know, when I decided to go. You know, on my hobby. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of times, man, I look at this situation like sometimes, in most cases, sometimes you have like some women when they do that, in my opinion, now it might ruffle some feathers, but that's what we're here for, though. We here to fix things or help anyway.
To help out, absolutely.
When women do that, when their man want to go on, they got a hobby and all that, they want to, go off or whatever, for a little while, and they so insecure like that because, the women, some of them in most cases, they kind of, look at the dirt that they done or they do.
Yeah, some of them are like that. I agree with that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like I know what I do when I'm out, but now I don't trust you when you go out.
Right. And
you know what I'm saying?
And when you have those type of situations, man, that's going on, with those type of relationships like that, man, you gotta seek the help you need because it ain't healthy for nobody. You dig what I'm saying? The next one, man, is I think we had this. We talked about this one time before. Men want sex.
Right.
A survey. This is an old survey, and it may be higher or lower. Now I don't know. In 2021, survey reported that 95% of men said feeling desire was an important part of sex. They feel wanted in that particular moment. You know what I'm saying? They go. That may be the only time of intimacy that they have with their wife, that's or throughout the day, because it's a jungle out there.
Oh yeah.
And they may just be, that's their getaway, in other words. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, they gotta do it, the women. I mean, not saying that they gotta do it like they held hostage or something, but
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They gotta do it because, I think we talked about that a while back before, because if they don't do it, somebody else will.
And I was about saying the lead dog kind of problems, when if he's not fulfilled sexually, then you're gonna have issues down the road. You gotta make sure you take care of your man, women, because the skeezers. Did I say skeezers? My bad. I mean.
Yeah, you did. But we're gonna roll with it though.
They jumped out on me, dog. They out there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they waiting and they lurking. Hey, look, and they already know. They can tell too.
Yeah,
they can tell.
And then men, stop running your mouth too much. You tell too much of your business, and we start talking too much about your home life. This is where these issues come in at. If you go telling them, you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel respected, I don't feel secure, I don't, all this other stuff, I don't have sex but 2 times a year, 3 times a year, my birthday, Christmas, and New Year. All they put together a plan.
That's another that's another CME moment.
Yeah, that's it.
Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that, the enemy puts together a plan.
Yeah.
That can come in, that can creep in. That's why, all these things are important, man, to a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying.
Yeah, because like I said, like women, they can pick up on it. Like you said, especially if guys talking about it, they can pick up on it. That's when the guys at work gonna start getting that extra back rub, from the woman they're working with them. They gonna start getting that extra macaroni and cheese coming to work. You know what I'm saying? So, it's what it is. So,
and y'all got to be mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? So, women cook that macaroni and cheese. He just said something about macaroni. He said something about the macaroni and cheese. Y'all fix it. Now, other things men may want in a relationship. They want acceptance. They want to feel loved even when they make mistakes. He may go out and, make a bad investment, and he may go out and, wreck the car, might hit something.
Right.
But he still wants to feel that he don't want to be dogged out. Right. He want to, hey, babe, it's okay. It's a car. You good. It's just a car.
Right.
We can fix that. Hey, it was just $1,000. We can get that back.
As long as you all right. As long as you all right, we good. We can't get another. We can get another car.
We definitely gonna have to get another one. Because
what'll happen is when they do their significant other husband or whatever like that, after a while they start feeling like, the dude start feeling like, he getting that pressure on him. He can't do nothing right.
Like Charlie Brown.
Yeah. So he'll probably, he'll be in a situation like that. So and then after that, it's gonna just snowball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, you gotta, those situations, man, you gotta nip them in the bud. It's okay. It's just a car. It's okay. It's just money. Long as you good, we're gonna be good. That's it. No question about it. Communication. Men want direct communication with their wife. They want the dialogue with their wife. They don't want to get the communication through text message or Instagram post, or you know what I mean. They want to have the direct communication, because this, I'm telling you that I'm gonna go to, let's say, my cousin them house, right? I want you to know that, versus me got to finding out through pictures that you done post on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you done posted at. You know what I mean? So they want the direct communication.
Right.
That is very important. Yeah.
Right.
You got something?
Oh no, go ahead. We go next topic.
All right. Working out together. Men want to work out. Well, some men want to work out with their partners. Some of them don't want to work out at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you something funny. Me and Keisha, we work out together sometime. And Keisha, I ain't gonna put you on blast, but I am. Me and Keisha be in the gym together. Keisha will give you a solid 20. I mean, she'll give you a solid 15, 20 minutes of workout. Then she's sitting there on the phone doing whatever she gonna do. So she do
that's why I can really say she on the phone after that.
Yeah, she's sitting there, boy, listening to her music and doing whatever it is she do. But she does. She will get in there. I'll say this: she will get in there and work out. So she do like working out with me. And Keisha, ain't putting you on blast, but we got to do more than 20 minutes, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man date. We ain't gonna call it man dates. We're gonna call it men fellowship. Men want to have time with their male friends, which means, dare I say it, it don't include you at the moment, and that's okay.
Right. Yeah, so you can, hang around, chop it up a little bit, let your hair down, hang out with the boys, talk a little bit. Just because, you're hanging out with the boys, it don't mean like, you chasing women or nothing like that. A lot of females, they might think that scenario, but like I said, flip side, see, it's cool when they hang out with their girlfriends. Yeah. And we, you know what I'm saying? But when we hang out with our guy friends, not us per se, we got to keep saying that it's for the people that we talking to, the people that we get feedback from.
Yeah, exactly.
And but when the guys, when they hang out with their guy friends, their wives or girlfriends think that they out chasing women. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But when the girls do it, it's supposed to be cool. Oh, I'm just with my girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? So they got to kind of loosen up on that a little bit.
Yeah, man, you got to have time. You got it's kind of like a I would call it kind of like a safe space. You got to have a little bit of time to be able to let your hair down, be able to talk about issues and situations that you can't talk about at home, or you can't talk about them with your spouse, because it may not be something that may not go over well. You know what I mean? Although I understand, you still got to communicate with your spouse, but some things, you want to have that outlet, just like, with women, they like to have the outlet. They go out with their female friends and they just go sit and talk and do whatever it is, they need to do. I'm gonna get to this one before we get ready to go to the break. Humor. A relationship with laughter and humor can reduce stress, build stronger communication, and create beautiful memories. Hey, y'all laugh together. It's okay.
That's right.
It's okay to laugh at, his jokes that he done told, I don't know, 100 times. It's okay to laugh at the same joke. You know what I'm saying? That, I remember back when I was blah, blah, blah. Dad, you done told the same joke 100 times. I know, just laugh anyway. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let's show them a little, just a little humor in your relationship will make things go a long way. And when we come back after this break, we're going to jump on the women.
You ready to flip it?
Yeah, we got the women, man. They want some things in the relationship too. So
okay,
right after the break, dog, we're gonna get to it. We'll be right back after the break, y'all.
All right. Bet.
Been home about 6 months now, and I still have my doubts. Well, I'm not sure how I got here or how I'm gonna get out. Well, my mama says I look the same as I did before I left. But if she could see inside of me, it would scare her to death. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, got it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Last Saturday they honored us in a small parade downtown. And when they shot off those fireworks, I nearly hit the ground. And while they smiled and cheered for us, all I could do was stare. 'Cause part of me is here at home, but part of me's back there. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, got it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Yeah, there's no end in sight. 'Cause even though I'm home now, I'm still fighting for my life. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, got it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Well, the devil's won some battles, and he may win some more. But don't he know the American soldier will always win the war?
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The Man Talk 133 with Charles and Daryl. So before the break, man, we did what men really want.
Okay.
Ladies, it's y'all turn.
They on deck.
What do women really want? You know what I'm saying? Women generally want men who are kind, respectful, reliable, and emotionally intelligent. They also value a sense of humor and a willingness to engage intimacy and emotional vulnerability. So some specific qualities women tend to find attractive: kindness and empathy, showing compassion and understanding both verbally and through actions is highly excuse me, I was highly valued. Meaning that, they want y'all to show some they want compassion from the man. They want the man to show, hey, that they love him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to have a man that is just, he's rough around the edges with everything.
Right.
He just
stone cold, mean mugging.
Yeah, he's just rough all the time. He's just like, he's just not a friendly, cool, compassionate person. But I will say this too, they kind of fall on the women too, because you knew that when you met him. So you got to do you knew when y'all went when y'all went to out to eat, y'all first couple of times, or the movies or whatever, you knew he was rough around the edges then. But the thing I think that they fall into is they think they can change him.
Yeah. And like with that whole scenario, man, like I said, it's kind of both of them intertwined. What we've been talking about the men first, and then the women.
Yeah.
But the guys, a lot of times, it's 50-50. I say 50-50, however you want to, divide it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, most men, I think they, they can kind of be like on the compassionate side a little bit, but sometimes, sometimes it depends on, how the old lady feeling that day. She, they may not be feeling their best, then, but they won't tell you nothing either.
Right.
So, like if you're trying to talk, they don't want to talk. But then if you don't talk to them, now they mad because you ain't talking to them.
Right.
So
that's a key part of communication. You got to communicate in any relationship. You know what I mean? And they want they want integrity and trustworthiness. Honesty and reliability build trust and create a sense of security. They want to be able to trust you can go to the store and come back without getting yourself into some mess. Right.
But they go back to your last point.
Yeah.
They go back to your last point. You already know how he was when you first got together. So you kind of know whether he's going to be a leader or you got to lead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they kind of go back to your last point, what you was talking about on that. Like as far as like being responsible. If you go to this store and get whatever you need, whatever I need you to come back, in the right frame of mind or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or, or go get what's supposed to be, gotten or whatever.
Come on back. And that builds trust, even if you had issues in the past, and she know you had issues in the past, and you're trying to build like this trust. So you got to go to the store and come on back. Don't go to the store like you did 4-5 years ago and then come back 2 days later. That ain't gonna work this time. She didn't gave you a break on it. So she want integrity and trustworthiness, emotional availability and sensitivity. Being able to express emotions and connect emotionally with a partner is important for intimacy and vulnerability. Y'all gotta be able to, you gotta be able to cry sometime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to let it out. You got to be able to, if you having a day, you got to be able to say, you know what, baby, I'm just having a bad day. This day has been just one of the days that I don't understand what happened, but I got up this morning. The tire was flat. I got to work late. Then when I got to work late, my truck at work wouldn't start. Then I just been running behind all day. Then I got stuck behind this tractor, and it took me an extra 30 minutes to get home. You got to be able to express so she can be like, hey, you know what?
That's what I was gonna say. That'll go a long way. Because instead of you coming in, you tight, you know what I'm saying, and you ain't, she don't know what's going on with you, and you holding all of that in, what you just said.
Yeah.
When you come in from work or whatever, off the road or whatever, and you express that to her, that's like you said, communication is key. When you express that to her, then she gonna, cause you know they good at this. She gonna come with some soothing conversation with you, like, you know, hey, it's gonna be all right. You know, this, come over here and sit down. I got your plate fixed or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they gonna, you know, like I said, communication is the key in that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like you said, instead of just coming in hell bent or whatever in the house, they asking you what's the matter, and you know, you shut them out and don't let them know what's going on. You
So
know?
let's flip it though. Let's say if the woman come in with that, the man got to be able to pull her to the side. Hey, look, pull in, grab a hug, or whatever you got to do, whatever y'all method is, or sit on a chair. You know, I don't know what you're gonna do. Just whatever y'all method is, you got to settle down, and then she'll be able to, you know what? When I come in, I know that my husband, I know that my fiance or wherever got me when I come in the house and I'm having a moment. They can be like, look, just let me hug you for a little while, let it out, and then, you know, we can go from there.
And that comes back to the peace. When you come in, you got to have peace in your home.
Yeah.
That's your only, if you don't have peace nowhere else, you got to have it inside your home.
You got to have it.
If you ain't got it inside your home, you definitely ain't got it out in the world. If you ain't got it inside your home, you ain't got nothing.
Exactly, man. And you know, she wants a man that makes her laugh. Laughter and shared enjoyment can create a positive and lighthearted atmosphere. She wants her husband or fiance to make her laugh. She may be going through a bad day, but she may think about that joke you told her, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And it may, you know, make her feel better. Like she may start laughing, like, you know what? I love that guy.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Because of the joke you done told her 2 weeks ago. But if you don't tell no jokes, what she got to go to? Then she got to go listen to Kevin Hart just to get a laugh in or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to build that sense of humor. Me and y'all got to have a sense of humor. You got to be funny, fun, you know, and that will definitely create a positive and a lighthearted atmosphere. Being helpful and cooperative and kind to others can signal good character and a potential as a partner and family member. She see you happen, it's like she invite you over. Your granddad out there, he cutting grass, right? He go out there and start helping him.
Right.
You ain't got to tell him to do it. You know, well, I see he need help. He got the lawnmower stuck in the ditch. I'm gonna go ahead and get the lawnmower out. He playing with the kids, you know, hey, after y'all eat, he may just, you know, I'm gonna go wash the dishes at your people's house.
Yeah, you know, I guess they kind of, you know, like I said, you got to kind of be like a people person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get guys that they not really people persons or whatever. So people kind of tend to stay away from them. Not, you know, like not in a bad way, you know, they just kind of like, you know what, my man or whoever, female, whatever, they ain't a people person. So, you know, you kind of stay your distance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they kind of go back to, like you saying, you know, you helping, you know, like you helping helping her granddad or something, you know, with the lawnmower stuck in the ditch or whatever, you know. Because like I said, you know how we are, like we roll up on anybody, we talk to everybody. That's how we were raised, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we people persons or whatever. Sometimes you run across guys that ain't like that. They don't talk to they talk to just certain people.
Exactly.
You know, but it might not be you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But men got to understand that if you're dating, she may be watching that to see how you do interact with other people.
Right.
Because if you don't talk to nobody but your homies, it may be you go to her family's house, you don't interact with nobody. It could be a thing where, you know, hey, you know, I don't know if this is gonna be conducive to what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And selflessness and generosity. Being willing to put your partner's needs before their own is a sign of a caring and supportive individual. Bruh, if she's not feeling well, it's okay for you to cut the video game off
Yeah.
and go get her some, medicine from the drugstore.
Meds, yeah. You can't leave her hanging, dog. Like,
Yeah, I'm just, y'all got to stop. I mean, y'all got to stop doing that. Hey, we up against another break, the last break. But hey, you can't be like, well, hey, they got this thing going on at the club tonight, so I get it when I get back. We be right after the break, y'all.
right.
Well, he spent 22 years in the army. We talked Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. And what I learned from him's worth more than anything anyone's bought me. That camo jacket with our last name, still in my closet to this day. There ain't enough money in the world you can give me to throw it away. I hold on to pictures and memories in that shadow box with everything still in it. Whenever he talked, I listened. So fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one, defending the land of the free. We're in the home of the brave. And pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was your own. Can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. Those cassette tapes he mailed home, I'd rewind them all night long. Cause when I closed my eyes, it felt like he wasn't gone. And mama did the best she could, raising 3 kids while he stood on the front lines from dawn to dusk in a gun-smoked skyline. Fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one, defending the land of the free. We're in the home of the brave. And pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was your own. I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. So I hold on to pictures and memories in that shadow box with everything still in it. Whenever he talked, I listened. And he said, so fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one, defending the land of the free. Boy, you're in the home of the brave. So to this day, I pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was my own. I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man Talk 133.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, shout out to all the artists up here, they're all veterans. Just shout out to them. All of them are veterans.
Right.
So right before the break, man, we was talking about your partner's needs, taking care of. She wants a man that is gonna be like, if she sees that if she's not feeling well and you take care of her, that's what she's looking for.
Right.
If not, you might have some issues, bro. You can't put everything on the back burner if your wife or your fiance or whatever is not feeling well. It's just
right.
that's not how
like you said, you can't, she's sick. You can't go to the club like, yo, I'm gonna be back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go and take care of that, man. Just like me, I use myself for instance in this situation. And I know, like I said, it's probably, a topic for another day. Some people may like it, some people don't. But for me, my house, like for us, like taking care of like the wife, family, stuff like that. I don't eat first. I let them eat first.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I let the women and the children eat first, then I eat. I know some people say man should eat first or whatever. But see, I make sure they're straight.
Me too.
And then I eat.
Gotta make sure they're taken care of first,
right.
Man.
Yeah.
Because we can survive. We can make it work.
We can survive, even though it's more than enough food or whatever on all the time anyway.
Yeah.
But that's just how I am. I don't eat. I don't sit down and eat before my wife and my daughter and my kids eat. I got to see them eating first. When they eat, then I get my stuff, then I eat.
Right. Right.
That's like I said, because like I said, we can survive, if it was to be a shortage. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. Yeah. Next, man, while a confidence and leadership, while not everyone is looking for a strong leader, some levels of confidence and decisiveness can be attractive. Make a decision, bro. Like it's a small decision. Make the decision. She needs to know that you are well able and well capable of making decisions. You know what I mean? Like, and it's okay, like I said, to be a leader. You don't have to be a strong leader.
Right.
It's to show that you have confidence and leadership. You can be a competent leader that can make effective quality decisions without tearing your house all to pieces.
Right, because when she see you making the decisions and taking charge, doing what you're supposed to do, she'll fall back.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But if she can tell and she sense and she know that you can't handle that business like that, she gonna take over. And when she take over, you ain't gonna when she get the reins, she ain't gonna give them back to you. So
you messed up.
Yeah, so you in trouble. So you know what I'm saying? Like I said, they can tell, they can decipher, whether or not they got a strong leader in the house or not. They can pretty much tell, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And maturity, this is a big one. Maturity and emotional regulation, being able to manage one's emotions and make responsible decisions is important for a stable relationship. You can't go off on a waiter because he done looked at your woman. You can't. I mean, I would imagine you would want somebody to at least look at her. You dig what I'm saying? But you can't go off because he looked at her because he had to take an order. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You gotta control yourself.
Yeah, that's over the top. That's over the top right there without.
Yeah, but some people like that. But you gotta be able to control yourself, Doc. This is another one too. Physical attractiveness. While it's not always the top priority, physical attraction can be a factor. And some women find it a light beard appealing. I don't know why they put that in there, but physical attraction, you got to have something going on.
Right.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're looking like my boy Caesar, you might have a hard time. You might have a hard time if you're looking like Caesar.
Shout out to Caesar, man. Shout out to Caesar.
Or what's my little man?
They might not know who we're talking about, but they'll figure it out.
Oh no, I'm about to tell them from the Planet of the Apes, Doc. You look like
yeah.
if you look like him, you might have a tough go at it. You know what I'm saying? Or if you look like my precious guy, you might have the Lord of the Rings. You might have an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then let me say this to women too. So it's two ways you can look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't always go for the physical attractiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the time.
Right.
But don't go for the Lord of the Rings guy either because he got money.
Mm-hmm.
It could easily backfire either way. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta make sure all the things we read, we line out, make sure that's y'all list. You know, that's the things y'all looking for. Make sure those are part of your list, and then the physical attractiveness or not could add, enhance, what you're trying to do.
Yeah. That's funny, man. You said it because, a lot of them, they always looking for their Under Armour guy.
Yeah.
And they end up getting stuck in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because all of them want the Under Armour guy. So if you get the Under Armour dude, you ain't the only one that got it.
Exactly. And the Under Armour guy could probably potentially give you a baby and leave.
Right. So that's what basically so that go back to what you were saying about the appearance, because most of them want the 6'2", 200-pound guy, you know what I'm saying, work out at the gym or whatever. That's what they want, you know what I'm saying? So that's let's go back to what you was talking about the appearance. Yeah,
man, you got to make sure you pick it right, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So women, like I said, men and women, they want some of the same things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They basically, both sides want respect, both sides want humor, both sides, want whatever. Women want intelligence. Women appreciate men who are knowledgeable and can engage in stimulating conversations. Mm-hmm. If your conversation is about, I don't know, dog, work all the time or whatever, and you can't talk about nothing outside of that,
mm-hmm.
She may not like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. She may want somebody that can make her think,
mm-hmm.
Like if you sit down asking certain questions about
mm-hmm.
what are you looking for in 5 years, what in the relationship,
right?
You may not even thought about that,
mm-hmm.
Right? Him either. But I'm just saying, if he asked those type of questions, they kind of stimulate her
mm-hmm.
a little bit, and then you may be all right.
Right. Yeah, they like you said, if you're an auto mechanic or something like that, they ain't trying to hear your conversation about working on motors and transmissions all day.
Because they don't understand it.
Right. You got to, broaden your horizons and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you got to communicate. The ability to listen actively, express feelings clearly, and engage in meaningful conversation is crucial. You got to listen. If they telling you something, don't pick up your phone and start doing stuff. As soon as they start telling you something, don't do that. That's a definite for them turn off.
Yeah, that's like I don't care nothing about you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Basically,
or girl, whatever, young lady, whatever. That's disrespectful to do that.
Yeah, man. And they want you to be able to express your feelings clearly. If
mm-hmm.
you felt like I disrespected you at the restaurant or while we was walking in the park, when
mm-hmm.
I say, hey, get over here, let's express it instead of you acting like a baby about it. Let's
mm-hmm.
express that clearly. So
mm-hmm.
the next time I'll let you get ran over by the dude on the bicycle.
Right. You're right though, because a lot of times they don't be paying attention. Like I said, we kind of, we're our head on the swivel. You know what I'm saying? We pay attention to our surroundings, and they just like beeline, so. No,
I'm talking about him. If she pull him to the side, like, cause she want him to express his feelings.
Okay, yeah. So that's right, cause I keep forgetting we on their side, but I guess it can work both ways.
Yeah. So she want him to express his feelings clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So when hey,
mm-hmm.
hey, babe, get out of the way. He may take offense to her, and she just trying to help you not get ran over or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So you got to communicate effectively, Doc. They want to be trust. We talked
mm-hmm.
about this, and I know we really, really like up against it.
Oh yeah.
Do you think
you can finish it off? You can finish it off because about
this is the last question though. Do you think chivalry is gone?
Oh yeah.
You think so? Me too. Because I see people that don't open up the doors and for people and for their wives, and they push the door and hope they can run through it and make it in and all that crazy stuff. But listen, thank y'all for tuning in to Man Talk 133 with Charles and Daryl. And till next time, God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.